do with connections between ideas, between cultures, and between disciplines, arts and sciences. And I think in today's world you have a lot on the media which is to do with division, whereas we tend to try and pick a subject and come at it from all sorts of different angles.
Food is a way of communicating. There is something in us that says if this person doesn't eat the same, he won't accept food, he is not going to be he's not going to be a friend. Somebody comes in and says, I brought my own food, that's the worst. Because you really, how can you trust somebody who brings their own food?
When we share food, we've taken some behaviours related to extreme hostility and aggression, baring teeth, eye-to-eye contact and so forth, and turn them on the head so that they're a necessary part of a meal. They're the height of conviviality.
A lot of the times in school or in college or whatever, you're hearing things from a particular point of view, and you can almost end up nodding off a bit. But because it's, as I say, very different aspects, it could be from a historical or archaeological or a scientific, it really gives you food for thought.
If I could ask you this, you can have a show of hands. If you had to give up one of your senses, which of the 5 major senses would it be? Gustation, sense of taste, and sense of smell. We found that people would rather lose their ability to smell than the ability to hear, to feel, see one eye, hear one ear, and to taste. And the reason for that, I think, is because we're not really aware of how important the sense of smell is.
You can do a university course and study a subject in an academic way, or you can read about it in the newspaper and read about it in a very populist way, but there's nothing really in the middle, and we can fill that gap as well.
It's been very interesting so far. I enjoyed the kind of diversity of subjects within it, and a good balance of academic rigour and fun.
If it's a white liquid in a bottle, it must be milk. This isn't a sufficient explanation of this familiar white liquid.
The Istanbulis are also proud of the plainness of their cooking and fine ingredients as against the spices and sauces elsewhere, reminiscent of the kind of English plain, that English food is plain food, good ingredients as against all the sauces and muck of the French and others.
Microbiologists tell me that milk contains roughly 100,000 types of organic molecules.
And then I had the idea that at each place setting on the table I could handprint a food story from a Londoner.
Can you tell me something about food? What do you like to eat? What did your mum make you? What are you happiest eating or cooking? Well, I was surprised actually, they didn't ever question me, they just tell me.
Poisonous snakes. I made a speciality of cobra, I've eaten quite a lot of those. And I wish I could say that it did not taste of chicken. But of course it did.
This is a great story. It was a bloke who'd washed my hair at the hairdresser's, but you can see I was a bit desperate. When I was growing up, I ate a lot of junk food, but now I'm a vegetarian, probably because my girlfriend's one, even though I don't like people to think that's the reason. People are very pleased to have an ice-breaking question, such as tell me a food story. It gave me a way in.
It's a good way to get your brain fired up, I think, and it kicks off a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of great people here are very friendly.
Yeah, it's my first time here and I really like it. I think all the lecturers are really good and they're really interesting and have a varied number of speakers. I like how each of them presents very different points of view.
Everything we do is open to members of the public. You don't have to become a friend of ICR. You can come to one event only. We love seeing new faces. That they're our lifeblood, really, for new people to come on in, and also for people to bring us ideas. We love that as well.
There is no general explanation for all taboos. There are all kinds. And what interests me particularly is the way you eat the thigh muscle of the animal. Then why not its testicles, and so this is really the question is, why, not so much why don't we eat worms, is why don't we eat testicles?
As long as you not eat testicles.